So this is one of the pieces that I worked on today, and it's still a little bit wet, but what I'm planning to do is to, once it's actually a lot drier, is to look at it and to see where I could put my stags in this piece. And I started working in multiples, as I was saying before, so I would like to really see how I could add very majestic characters in this background. And it's got these two characters still here, and so I'm gonna let this layer dry and then see what else I want to add to it. And what I'm doing is I'm trying to try different colors of landscapes. So some of them are stormy, kind of up here. It's kind of like supposed to be a broody storm thing going on, and then there's the landscape below, and some areas might be like it's raining and that storm is reaching down here a little bit. So there's details in this that you can't see at the moment, but it's kind of like interacting like tendrils. At every layer there's like tendrils reaching down to the next space and invading next space, and that's how they're all interconnecting. It's kind of that stormy link through this whole thing, but it might end up a lot calmer. I don't know. I might make this a lot stormier, but I'm trying to be able to see the characters as well as a variety of backgrounds. I think that's what is going on in my head. But I think a lot of the time I focus, the backgrounds can be quite distracting, I think. And so another thing I'm noticing in my latest pieces is I'm giving my characters quite a detailed design on their body, and then the background I'm thinking should be a little bit quieter, because but not too much, just a little, to kind of play with the colors going on. So here there's a lot of the white, the light colors in it, and some dots and patterns that I've added, and then this is mainly a green one at the moment. It might change every layer that comes on. I kind of see what happens next and what I could add. And on each of these pieces there's like parts where the paint is still lumpy. These are still wet really, so, and this is where my clips clipped the top, so they've got a different color, but I'm going to paint over that later on. But so this is another one, and you can see that when I did my collage originally, they had these pink bits of paper on them, so that's what's showing through in the three characters there. And I liked that pink that I'd added into it. These are being created on papers I've done artwork on before, but I've kind of glued them together to make them bigger pieces. And then I am now painting in this kind of portrait, long portrait format, which I really wanted to try out. And it would be great to try some canvases like this as well. But also for these paper pieces, I could leave them like this and they can be framed in your usual traditional framing with the glass and the wood or whatever design on the edges. But you can also put them onto canvas. You can glue them onto canvas, and then those canvas in turn can either stay the way they are or they can be framed as well. So I just really like this look of the way that these stags look, and I'm really trying to figure out what this background is going to be all about. But I obviously stags are found in landscapes, so that's what I'm looking at. But then because of the abstraction aspect of it, their landscapes are going to be abstracted. It's not going to be that it's going to be something recognizable, but it's going to be something that these characters, for what they are, can be found in those environments. So they're going to tie in with their environment in their abstracted way, and they're going to suit the environment. So don't know if you can hear the stormy, rainy weather outside and the cars going past, so sorry about that. But yeah, so these still have different textures on them. Some are thicker than others. You can see my drawing that I had before coming through, and I scratched into the surface in some areas. And I'll just be doing more and more and just seeing how it goes. I want to take my time with these because I tend to, I feel, sometimes rush some of my paintings, But if I get to the stage where I think I'm not going to do that, I feel like I'm trying to ruin it, then I will stop. So as you've seen in some of my other videos, these are some of the ones I've done before. And so it's similar ideas of multiples, and then looking at leaving the details. So these ones actually I did recently that I painted these on, whereas those are collage designs that I've done before and scratched into and drawn into. So these are more focused on the paint textures, but there's still collage on these, but those are more letting the collage speak through and the drawing. So and I can see probably where the crossover was with this piece. So this is yet again one of the pieces I started working on from older paintings that I didn't really feel were quite where they needed to be. So letting the drawings in from this piece has led to this. So for myself, when I'm in the studio, I can see how I change my footing and my direction when I'm doing my work, but I'm not sure if people see those links necessarily. I mean, you can see maybe the subject matter is still a stag and everything, but they can always end up looking slightly different when I keep creating other pieces. So yeah, it's just to go through my other so like this one that I've not done anything more to at the moment, but you can see the paints and the marks before, and you can see that I've drawn with my kind of applique glue ink and acrylic pen on these to get these characters, which is what I was painting there. So I just did the same like I've done with these ones. So I'm gonna let this one dry. As I said, it's still a bit wet. So take this off and let it dry. Oops, let's try to pull that. Pick that up in a minute. Right, so, and then pin this up like this. And at this stage, I'm not thinking of what colors or anything. I just walk over to my table and I go, right, I think I'm gonna use these colors. So I'm not being very specific about what I want to use. So you can see here, I've glued the squares I've said together. And then I have, I've glued them with some masking tape actually, that's in the middle. And then I've glued over that with gel medium again, some of these kind of diary pages. So that's some collage. And that's why I'm painting over to get these pieces. So it's all the collage in, and you can see the difference from that to that, where this now sticks out. So if I did a simple example, what I could do with this is I could paint all the surrounding areas in one color, and then you can see what I'm talking about. So I just get some of my, I think what color I could use. I don't want to use just plain white, so I'm gonna try and use this. This is like a light blue gray. What I'm doing also is I'm trying to use up my older paint. So I'm gonna just show you how I start getting the colors around my characters to be more visible. So I'm just painting over like that. I'm just going over the neck here. So I'm trying to pay attention as I'm going down, if not I will end up painting over the wrong bit. So this is over this body here. try and get some more out. I'm going to use my kind of paint tube squeezer thing contraption here and squeeze some out. I've got something out there. I'm going to use a bit more. And so I'll just go around this stag, and then this bigger one comes down here. There's a lot of the legs of the other one in here, so you can kind of vaguely see that, I think. Let's try and put some more. I'm gonna go in between here where his legs are. So you can kind of see that there. And if I go around, just trying to get away all the bits that are distraction. And between here, around here, just trying to point out the antlers of it. Toning all those bright colors down so you can see the colors where they are in very specific areas. I can always add some of these colors back, but I've pushed it back there, so I don't know if you can see then what it is that I'm saying. So you can see these shapes of these characters a lot better. Here it's because the stag kind of ties over with the one behind it, so I didn't really separate these colors, but you can see that there. So yeah, that's basically what I've been doing, is painting with the colors and at the same time making these characters stick out. So what I can possibly do is look at the dominant color here and say these are yellows and these are pinks, and pick with the color wheel something that will go with just one of these colors, or if they're similar colors then it works that way. So yeah, that's what I've been doing, having fun basically painting over these and trying to see how to set up my studio so that I can work a lot more efficiently and not just come straight into the studio and just work straight away. So that's kind of the fun thing I'm experimenting with, and this is working for me. I'm using my big lights today because it's quite dark in the studio, and so I'm starting to understand how to do the setup in here. So yeah, so I'm gonna get back to work, but thank you for the time you spent with me just with this chat, this little share on my post here on YouTube, and I will endeavor to show you more as I go along with what I'm doing. And also I'm trying to be more patient with my work. I really don't want to rush, so I'm trying to look and digest what it is that I'm trying to get out of these pieces. Where is it that I'm going with this whole thing, or am I overthinking it and I just need to just do it and then step back and leave things alone and not question what it is that's going on, because maybe that's part of the learning process and I'll turn around and everything would have clicked into place. So I'm trying not to be too cautious and just to keep on experimenting like a scientist in the lab. So I'm going to see what colors I can add to this, and I will possibly do a time lapse of that right now actually, and I'll speak to you guys next time. Bye.